Fujifilm's X series of mirrorless cameras have always been appreciated by photo enthusiasts for their classic designs, great image quality, and the outstanding collection of XF lenses. But until last year's X Pro 2 and X-T2, the X series wasn't just retro, it was also a bit dated. The X-T2 didn't just fix this, it actually pushed beyond it by introducing a host of unexpected video features. In fact, it's the camera shooting this video right now. But at $1,600, it's a bit out of reach for most enthusiasts. Fortunately, such photographers can now look to the X-T20, which, at just $900 for the body only, brings X-T2 performance to a much more affordable price. The X-T20 shares a lot with the X-T2, so much so that the X-T2 early adopters may be feeling a tinge of buyer's remorse. It features the same 24-megapixel X-Trans CMOS III sensor, same X-Processor Pro image processor, same 325-point autofocus system, and it even gets 4K video, just the second camera from Fujifilm to do so. But there are some key differences between these two cameras that should leave X-T2 owners happy with their decision. The X-T20 is not weather sealed, has a smaller electronic viewfinder with the same resolution but less magnification. It does not have locking dials or a dedicated ISO dial, and it trades the X-T2's much celebrated AF joystick in for a touchscreen, which may or may not be a fair trade-off depending on your personal preference. For anyone who's used both cameras, the difference will be immediately clear. The X-T20 is significantly lighter than the X-T2, which in a lot of cases is a good thing, but it does also make the camera feel a bit cheaper. But of course, it is. We took the X-T20 on a 5-day road trip from Denver to Portland with many stops along the way. Combined with the 18 to 135mm stabilized lens, the X-T20 provided just about anything we could have asked for out of a travel camera. Like the X-T2, it starts up nearly instantly, autofocus performance is very snappy, and image quality is superb, with rich out-of-camera JPEGs and strong RAW files with plenty of latitude for post-processing. Users new to the X series may find the control layout somewhat confusing, especially with the absence of a traditional PSAM mode dial. We rather like how it's set up, especially when using a lens with an aperture ring, as most of the XF lenses have, but it does require some getting used to. As for video, the average user won't have anything to complain about, but it's not perfect. The X-T20 employs line skipping in order to record 4K video from the full width of the sensor, as opposed to the X-T2, which uses a slight crop but oversamples more pixels than necessary in order to produce sharper results. While the X-T20 can do HDMI out, it does not get the X-T2's F-Log flat gamma profile. But this is an admittedly high-end feature that users in the $1,000 price range are probably happy to do without. The real issue with video is simply the lack of in-body image stabilization. One of the best selling points of the X series is the lens collection, which includes several excellent fast primes that are not stabilized. For still photography, the wide apertures help make up for the lack of stabilization, but this just doesn't work in video. Shooting video handheld without image stabilization is an exercise in futility. This is no different than on the X-T2 or any other Fujifilm camera, but it is still something that leaves us wanting. Other than that, there isn't much not to like about the X-T20. If you've been waiting for the right time to try a Fujifilm mirrorless camera, this may just push you over the fence. With the X Pro 2 and X-T2, the under-the-hood technologies finally caught up with the excellent designs and optics. And now with the X-T20, that best of both worlds combination is simply more approachable.